Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well, and I appreciate everyone joining me and everyone who watches after the live stream. If you think about it, give me a thumbs up so you don't forget, and if you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. Let me know something. But anyway, folks, Congress put an egg in their shoe and beat it. So what's going to happen now? Who will save America? And we have Iran is making demands of all things. And it doesn't look like they got a lot to back up what they're trying to demand. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of other things. More voter, I'll spell it out, F-R-A-U-D, is being exposed every day. And we can't seem to get something as simple as a Save America Act passed. So, what will happen now? What do? I play videos while people settle in, get themselves a cup of coffee, a nice cold brouhaha, or an adult beverage of their choice. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
They're going to do it. I'm so shocked to hear you. But as long as I know that they're going to do that, you do it. I would do it whether they did it or not. We would get, in the next 2.5 years, we would get things that nobody ever dreamt of. We would be in office for the next 100 years. And I'll tell you what, if they get in, I may be the last Republican president.
Let's talk about the House.
If they don't get smart, if the Senate doesn't get smart, I may be the last Republican president. That's a big statement.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's right, but who knows?
The first, a scenario in which Trump finds a pretext, invokes the Insurrection Act, and tries to impose martial law. Elections, therefore, could be canceled, or if they happen, he could surround polling places with military and federal law enforcement to intimidate voters. The second option is harder to track, but can still swing an election, labeling opposition groups, candidates, and elected officials as terrorists or criminals, and going after the infrastructure that allows for competitive elections.
Communism is the greatest threat to our country in its history, including even World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. I think it's the greatest threat. I could be the greatest communist in history. I tell everybody here, would you like a free house? We'll take one from your neighbor. Would you like free rent? We'll take it from whoever. We'll take your building away from the landlord that makes 2%, and we'll rent the building ourselves. What they don't say, and what Republicans should say, is that at the end of a year, you'll have nothing but death, squalor, poverty. You'll have a life of hell.
The storm's on.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on.
Hi, folks. I'm glad you're here tonight. Man, I tell you what, I knew that. Whoa, wait a second. I knew that the Insurrection Act wasn't going to pass. I knew that. I knew two things for certain with Congress: that Todd Blanche would get approved, and that the Congress would go home without the Insurrection Act being passed. So, and even the votes, they were correct. The people I was listening to, watching, that it was going to be a 50-49 vote for Todd Blanche. So anyway, I'll tell you what, I could have played this the other night. I'll play it for you now. A video that made me realize I know it's not going to pass. So I didn't want to throw a wet blanket on everything, but I'll play it tonight. And another thing I want to mention, I messed up last night. I was calling Switzerland Sweden, but anyways, toward the end of the broadcast, I've been talking for almost 2 hours, but I corrected it. I want y'all to listen to that last video I played, my last broadcast. Maybe some of you did, because it's a message. It's a message. And who is it a message to? How many of you listened to that broadcast? Or like some people just dipped out and went on about your abouts. How many of you listened to it when Trump was talking about Switzerland? What entered your mind? And you got to think like the bad guys, right? Hi, Tammy. How you doing? Frank. Thank you, Tammy, for finishing up last week with Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate it. And along with Mike and Bev and Wayne last week. I appreciate it. Elva, nice to see you. Got Frank, Elva, Tammy. Greg, nice to see you. Rain's here. Sissy's here. Ha, ha, ha. All right, come on in. KNS Cleanup, nice to see you. So cogitate on it, folks. What if you were part of the bad guys? Hi, Todd. How are you doing? And I think it was also a message to people who were paying attention to the CUE drops. And hi, Cole. Nice to see you. Tammy and Cole are here, the younger gang. Ha ha. Judy, nice to see you. Melinda. All right. Let's see who else is coming in. I'll get down and see if we got any. Brett, nice to see you. Wayne, thank you for starting off this week with Buy Me a Coffee this evening. I saw that you stopped by. I appreciate it. Yes, and please give a thumbs up as it helps the video get around. The views are terribly suppressed. 10% of my peak last broadcast. Didn't even get to that. And my broadcasts have been getting cut off because of internet troubles, I'm sure. So twice, 2 broadcasts out of 4. So that knocks you way down the algorithm. A lot of people aren't getting their notifications. Hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Frank's here. Cole here. Frank. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. So what did you all get out of that? And I could go out of the studio and get the video and play it again, but I'm not. He talked about Switzerland, folks. He talked about the elites. How many times did he say elites? Or the elite? How many times have we said he's going to the lair, all right? Their primary lair in Davos. And what was he telling them? You're not going to be elite for very long. All it would take for me is a stroke of the pen. So he put out a warning to them. And who do we always talk about with Davos? George Soros, right? And he brought up interest rates, aka the Fed. How they're only paying 0.5%, these elite people. And he brought up their watches. How many times did we see in the CUE post a photograph of a watch? Remember that meme Trump posted with him grabbing George Washington by the hand as he rescuing him from falling off a cliff? What was in the background? Little things like that, folks. I'm not saying I know what everything means, but I don't need a building to fall in on me to know that it was a message. It was a message to the worldwide criminal entity known as the Deep State and the elites that operate it. Okay? Hi, Darla. Miss Mendersu. Well, how did you get in here and not see it? There you are. Nice to see you, Miss Mendersu. And Elva remembers. Yeah. So anyway, using that same autist capabilities, let me find this post. I know. Oh, holy cow. What is going on? Oh, I don't want troubles. Here we go. I'll play it, and you all listen to it attentively. This was Friday. John Kennedy.
I don't know, John. I mean, I honestly don't know. Everybody, I don't know what's in people's heads and what's in people's hearts. Here's what I do know. If we do reconciliation, we don't need any Democratic votes. We do have to get the permission of the parliamentarian.
Yep.
But there's a way to craft a voter integrity bill, the so-called SAVE Act, that I believe can pass muster with the parliamentarian. But we don't know unless we try. Now, Senator Thune, to his credit, is going to bring that to a vote on the floor. We're going to have a chance to do what we call get on the bill. I'm obviously going to vote yes. I think all Democrats will vote no. I don't know how many Republicans will vote no, but probably some will.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we will all stay dazed and confused about what's going on in the.
Well, I wasn't dazed and confused when I heard that video Saturday night, or Saturday during the day. I said, Friday, I'm sorry. I said, oh, that's it. There ain't going to be no Save America Act. And Kennedy, I think he's doing an op. I think he's playing a role. I can look at his face and know he knows it's not going through. You know how many times these guys get up there before a vote and actually don't know what's going to happen? Never. But he's saying, I don't know. But what tipped you off, if at anything, that the Save America Act was finished for this session? Flannel Cheese, how you doing? Anything tip you off? Did you all listen to it? What did I hear where I said, forget it. We're not going to say, I knew Friday we were not going to get the Save America Act passed. I'll play it and I'll stop right where I knew. And I can tell it's just my personal observation, my interpretation personal interpretation of his body language and behavior that he knows what the deal is. Not to say I don't trust Kennedy. Not to say he's not doing this for a reason, or he would not be able to stop it anyway. So anyway, let me see what's going on with the chat before I spill the beans. There you go, Rain. There you go. And he says it so blithely.
You know, I don't know, John. I mean, I honestly don't know. Everybody, I don't know what's in people's heads and what's in people's hearts. Here's what I do know. If we do reconciliation, we don't need any Democratic votes. Mm-hmm. We do have to get the permission of the parliamentarian. Yeah.
Right there. Rain got it. Trump just said, we need to get rid of that parliamentarian. When the hell does the parliamentarian make decisions for the entire Senate on something as basic as a voter ID law? And we know that that's a plant, and that parliamentarian should have been removed right when Trump was inaugurated. And you knew it wasn't going to go through. That's a communist operative, the parliamentarian. That's been exposed. We talked about it. And Trump has said numerous times, get rid of that parliamentarian. No good. So that was Friday. So anyway, I don't know what Kennedy's doing. Here's a video I didn't get to play too, because we're going to talk about some more voter fraud, but also this was concerning the birthright citizenship that Trump signed. And I was going to put a picture at some point, a picture of Amy Coney Barrett, right? But anyway.
New executive orders on birth tourism and birthright citizenship. Now, back at the end of June, the Supreme Court ruled against his first push. Fox News Sunday anchor Shannon Bream here to take us through it. Shannon, nice to see you. Good morning. He said we are making adjustments. Mm-hmm. What adjustments? How do you see it legally? Does it fly?
Well, a couple of different ways, Bill. So remember what the Supreme Court did was say you can't have this sweeping executive order that says no birthright citizenship for people who were born here and their parents don't have the proper legal status. There were already exceptions to birthright citizenship, meaning children of foreign dignitaries, diplomats born in the U.S., they didn't have birthright citizenship. So one of these executive orders is trying to expand the definition of who would be ineligible for birthright citizenship. The other one is aimed at birth tourism, which, as you know, came up during the Supreme Court arguments.
Okay, so we got a clip from that. John Roberts was a no, as you pointed out to me earlier. Here's the audio now from the arguments, and you were inside. Listen.
You mentioned in your briefing and also this morning the problem of birth tourism. Do you have any information about how common that is or how significant a problem it is?
It's a great question. No one knows for sure.
Well, it certainly wasn't a problem in the 19th century.
No, but of course, we're in a new world now, as Justice Alito pointed out, to where 8 billion people are one plane ride away from having a child who's a U.S. citizen.
Well, it's a new world. It's the same Constitution.
Okay, that last. Go ahead, Shannon. You were in there for it. How did you hear it?
I mean, that was the key phrase from the chief there. It may be a new world. So acknowledging that there are these issues and problems the founders could not have seen and they couldn't have foreseen.
Now, wait a minute. Does John Roberts live in a freezer? You know, I know not many people hear my voice, but I was saying over a year ago that there were 1 million Chinese infants that were born here and immediately taken back to China and are being indoctrinated and raised in a communist country, and they are so-called Americans. And I know a lot of people believe me, but a lot of people thought I was full of crap. But in the last month or so, Donald Trump put out those same figures. Same figures. Validated what I had said. And he's got a much bigger voice than me. And you're going to tell me the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court didn't catch wind of that? They're going to play that dumb? No, you don't live in a freezer. Oh, here's this character that... here's a character that got his security clearances taken away. Right here. Frank Kendall. This is the guy that was running his chops about security details and information about Air Force One to the press. And he's been yanked. He was under Joe Biden. He was the United States Secretary of the Air Force till January 20th, 2025. So you would think that this person would have more brains in their head. They should know better. Okay? And was this a willful breach of security? Or an idiot? Okay? Or both. So anyway, he's gone. He's history. There's somebody else who got, since I'm on the issue of shite canning people, a lieutenant general got removed. And let me find him. I thought, wow, what's this about? Is it about, I'll have to find him. Is this some more business of giving up information you shouldn't be giving up? Or what's the story? Here he is. I'm like, wow, that's high up in the ranks, right? The Pentagon has removed a key military official. There he is. Coordinating the delivery of military aid to Ukraine from his position, according to ABC News. The official is Lieutenant General Charles Costanza. He only had 2 months left in his service with a military unit in Poland, which oversees aid to Ukraine and manages troops on NATO's eastern flank. The reason for his removal have not been disclosed. Have you all heard about this? And I'll tell you what I heard, but you tell me what you heard. Ha ha, Tammy hears my crickets. Ha 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 ha. I barely hear them. And they're, because, you know, my ear holes, I got a problem with hearing. Yeah, Clarence Thomas should be in that chair, the big chair. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Oh, well, so nobody's got to guess. Out. What I heard was his behaviors that were uncovered, reported, whatever, were so egregious that he would have been removed at any station or rank, no matter where he was in the Army. If he was a buck private, if he was a 5-star general, doesn't matter. And it has to do with severe alcohol abuse. It's reported. I don't know. I wouldn't recognize him if I passed him in the street. I don't know. And possible mental issues. So every now and then somebody has a wire break loose in their head and they're short out for whatever reason. So he's gone too. But I got that information yesterday about it. The initial firing. I mean, he's gone. He's gone. He's going to get court-martialed. He's out. And we may have, so I thought it was something to do when you're talking Poland, Ukraine, and the shaky situation over there, giving supplies. Was there money change? How, you don't know what it could have been. But now I'm finding out rumors that it is a personal frailty, a mental frailty, addiction issue. So, I don't know. Maybe that's the cover story. So anyway, Todd Blanche, 59-49. Here, Dan Scavino put this picture up. Congratulations to the 88th United States Attorney General, Todd Blanche. There he is. They're all grins. So, hey, if Dan Scavino's happy, don't you know I'm happy? I'm a slappy, happy, pappy. But anyway, here's some of the creepy regular news, Telegraph, Teletrash. Todd Blanche is confirmed as Attorney General, 50-49. Is Mitch McConnell's absence a strategic move? Because do you think he would have voted for Todd Blanche? If he didn't vote for Tom Blanche, if he voted against Todd Blanche, it would have been a 50-50 tie. And I don't know that J.D. Vance would be the tiebreaker in a nomination. I believe he would. Or is a tiebreaker just for bills? I think it would have been. And that would have started Blanche off with a stain, So there's media reports, of course, saying, oh, it is such a close, a bitterly divided teletrash. No, New York Times, New York Slimes. I thought it was teletrash. New York Slimes. They're not going to give any break or fair description. Bitterly divided Senate. Narrowly confirmed Todd Blanche as Attorney General on Saturday. What about when these judges Joe Biden nominated after the Democrats lost to Trump and they had that window of mayhem till Trump's inauguration? They were putting up some of these Judge Frimpong types that were 50-49. And did they say, a bitterly divided? No, they said, Judge Hoopty-Doo Flabibah is the first judge from Senegal with one leg to ever be on the jury, be a judge. They celebrated. They didn't say it was bitterly divided, but they bring it up. Every 50, look how many people were put on the bench, 50-49, not a damn word was said. So anyway, avoiding J.D. Vance's tiebreaker, which would have been something they would never let Todd Blanche live down, was avoided. So he got in on a majority vote, clean. Didn't Ketanji Brown Jackson get up by 50-49? I'm not sure. She may have. I don't have to check it. I don't care. I don't care. I think she's going to be gone anyway. We can't have a lunatic like that up there. There he is again. Todd, you're getting ready to roll. I am deeply honored by the trust and confidence President Trump has placed in me to lead the Department of Justice as our great nation's 88th Attorney General. I am grateful to the Senate for staying late to complete the process. To the dedicated public servants of the Department of Justice, thank you for your work each day to uphold the law and keep our country safe. God bless America. All right. Well, he's getting ready to rock and roll. Let's hope so. But don't expect arrests. Don't expect arrests. Once again, a clandestine posted something that I heartily agree with. This is about the SAVE Act. I'll get to that in a minute. But with Todd Blanche, his thoughts on Todd Blanche. Okay, let me find it. And like I say, I concur. And he brings up Pam Bondi. You got to remember, who's plucking this chicken? Well, it wasn't Pam Bondi, and it ain't going to be Todd Blanche. Okay? Who's plucking this chicken? At approximately 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, Todd Blanche was confirmed as AG and a vote 50-49, McConnell not present. I've been nothing but impressed with Blanche thus far, but ultimately I trust Trump in his selection. I have noticed that Blanche has kind of flown under the radar and does not receive anywhere near the amount of hate that Pam Bondi received. But we'll see how long it takes for the morons to begin complaining and blaming Blanche for everything under the sun. Contrary to popular opinion, we are not on the AG's timeline. We are on Trump and the U.S. military's timeline. That's who's plucking this chicken. Neither Pam Bondi nor Todd Blanche get to choose when to drop the hammer. I concur. A change in AG is not going to magically accelerate the timeline. I was looking at some Telegram posts today, some people I check in on and follow. And again, the mantra, when are there going to be arrests? We want mass arrests. We want everybody arrested. Yeah, okay. We'll just throw the whole chessboard up in the air and turn the whole country into complete turmoil. Okay? Just so people can sit at home and say, oh, good. Got arrests. Timing is everything. And right now you would have nothing but flipping riots in the street, the media egging everything on, calling Trump a dictator. Right before the elections were, real good move. So for the morons that spent the last 18 months squealing about Pam Bondi all day, if you think that Blanche is going to step in and just start immediately arresting deep state actors, you are mistaken. Blanche is just the next in line for the AG position, and the hammer will drop when it's the appropriate time for the hammer to drop. The AG does not control the timeline. Blanche is there to do exactly what POTUS expects of him, nothing more, nothing less. So, like I said, in that I concur. I think they are giving themselves enough rope in the eyes of Americans. We shouldn't interfere with an enemy that's destroying themselves. I'm just looking through the chats real quick. Yeah, Janine Pirro, she's still in a bit of a mess. We'll get to her in a minute. And Trump, of course, Trump put this up again. He put it up Friday, put it up again today. Vandalism. There's a rip. And on my alerts, there was a comment about Jeanine Pirro being on the outs with Trump. And of course, they'd act like Trump is very difficult to deal with. He's so difficult. That's the only time they would support somebody like Jeanine Pirro, is if they think they can hurt Trump. I might as well go ahead and put this up, because let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Pirro, Trump's longtime champion, is on the outs over reflecting pool move. Washington Compost. DC's top prosecutor spent a year navigating the president's demands. Now she finds her job at risk amid a rare break. Yeah. Well, we don't know what the story is. Why she did what she did. And did they put words in the Justice Department's mouth by claiming it was shoddy work? Did the Justice Department say that? I don't believe they did. Trump made a post about it, about the actual case. Let me see if I can get to it. Here it is. Alert! A National Park Service career employee, a highly credible witness, saw David Hearn act blue in broad daylight, vandalize the reflecting pool by, quote, violently ripping and tugging at the pool's somewhat delicate coating. This was today, folks. I got this 19 minutes after he posted it. The National Park Service employee provided this witness testimony to the U.S. Attorney's Office in early July. Well, we also reported 600,000 phony votes in Arizona, and nobody did anything. We reported it to the Attorney General, to the governor, to all these other people, and nobody did a damn thing either. But anyway, numerous other events took place, including using acid-like material on the just-installed grass adjoining the pool. On it were written the letters 8647, a phrase probably gotten from James Coney. There was substantial other damage to the reflecting pool also, but unfortunately there's no video proof other than the damage itself. We are working on the pool, and it will reopen shortly. As with many jobs, there was also some contractor error done by rushing the job for July 4th opening, but it was a very small area of this massive pool and was relatively inconsequential. Security cameras have been and are being installed. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And he put up a copy of the grand jury transcript or evidence that was put forward to the grand jury. The NPS employee, W1, stated that the defendant then knelt, placed both hands into the reflecting pool below the surface of the water, and started to, quote, violently rip and tug at a large portion of the pool coating. So, like I said, what the hell else was he doing? Washing out his thermos or cleaning his fingernails? Or no, of course he had malicious intent. So anyway, we'll see what Pirro, we haven't heard from her. We'll see what Pirro has concerning that. Oh yeah, Todd, there's a lot of people going after flock cameras. You know, it used to be if you were broke and your tags were dead, you could sneak on down to the 7-Eleven or something and get you whatever you need. Sneak on back to the house. Not anymore. Frank will send me get low. Nah, I think he's a candidate for the Greater American Greenland Seacot. Yeah, I thought cameras were everywhere too, Miss Minister Sue. But of course, they don't want cameras around the biggest crime scene in world history, which is Washington, D.C. So anyway, we shall see what happens with that. You know, Trump posted this about 2 hours before I went live. No comment, just this picture. Y'all, you know, I got my antennas up because of his reference during the interview, specifically talking about Switzerland, the elites, the Fed rate, okay? And, you know, I got my antennas up. So I don't know, should I? But anyway, he put this picture up after it became obvious that Congress is gone. And you know, was this a message or just I think it's a nice picture. Could be it's just a nice picture. I don't know. Because he put up a lot of other stuff like this. Biden isn't even 100 handicap. And Joe Biden making pock marks in the green. Or the, yeah. So anyway, well, you know, I guess he's got to be a little careful with the criticism of Biden. Because now we're going into the mode where we're going to excuse a Biden from any proceedings that are going to be upcoming. Former President Joe Biden's cancer has spread to other parts of his body, son Hunter says. Former U.S. President Joe Biden's prostate cancer has spread to other parts of his body and is causing him pain, his son Hunter said in an interview. Yeah, well, it was stage 4, yeah. And he also, from my memory, he said that he wasn't aware of his father having cancer, but he feels that his handlers knew. So who knows what's real with these people? Who knows? Did you know? Occasional cortex. What's that in her hand? We're going to take our power back. AOC freezes her eggs. Oh, my word. Says pregnancy under Trump is dangerous. Well, not as dangerous as the ones who want us to finance on-demand abort and then shuns, right? It seems to me that'd be a little more dangerous to be pregnant for a baby at any rate. But her eggs are important, though. They're not going to end up in a dumpster behind Planned Parenthood or on a experimentation table or organs being sold. No, she's going to save her eggs. They are important. They carry the genius gene. This administration has made pregnancy more dangerous than probably any point in the last 30 plus years. We're going to take our power back. You know, if you don't have to do something like that, freeze eggs, why would you do it? Wouldn't it enter your mind? Hi, Vicky, how you doing? Wouldn't it enter your mind that there would be some kind of damage to the cell structure in the freezing process that, you know, just have your babies, woman. It's kind of Frankensteinian, you know, monstrous. But don't worry. she's contemplating higher office. El Presidente, perhaps?
So we're almost out of time to get to your future. I'm sure you saw the poll in New Hampshire that had you as the leading candidate, leading choice for Democrats. First, are you going to run for president?
I mean, I'm focused on winning the midterms. I'm running for Congress right now.
But I mean, do you see this as something? I mean, I know you said you're open to it. Is it a realistic possibility for you?
I haven't ruled out the possibility, and I'm very humbled to the tremendous amount of support out there. I think that we have a responsibility to remain focused on the midterms and not on our individual aspirations or plans.
And running for Senate against Chuck Schumer, is that also something that's possible?
I mean, I think that anything is possible at this juncture.
Anything is possible. Boy, I got a cricket came in the house and it's loud while the video is playing. And you know who's asleep. She needs to wake up and get rid of this thing. I think it's a katydid. Man, that thing was loud. It snuck past me and got inside the house. You'll hear it in a minute, unless I just scared it. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, dingbat. Hi, sweet daydreams. Well, we knew from Trump that Biden shot. He shot in the head. That's the rubber-faced man. We don't know what the story is. We don't know. We shall see, though, in the future, I'm sure. So, U.S. News is running cover. Oh, I want to play. Where's that video? Talk about elections. And these commie lunatics taking over. The Democrats are in a really bad spot with this stuff. Where is that one video? Then I'll get to Ouchie and USA Today. They're all trying to rehabilitate him or make people feel pity. And I got a Stephen Miller video too. Oh my goodness, where is that clip? How they really, in Michigan with this guy, El Said, man, he is full of himself. He made some statements that were downright threatening. And I'll go over them tomorrow. About his opponent. You talk about third world trash. But anyway, here's a clip about how close things were. Democrats got themselves in a bad spot, man.
It feels like this was kind of the worst case scenario for the Democrats because they didn't get their candidate, but she got so close that they now have this massive split, meaning it's going to be incredibly tough to try and hold that seat when you have just a perfect divide on what people wanted out of their candidate.
Gosh, I hope it's going to be incredibly tough. That's what we are hoping for in the Republican Party. But that also means that we have to define Abdul al-Sayed, just like you did just now, because Haley Stevens really didn't. You see, the Democrats are afraid to go too far and actually talk about the issues. They don't want to get too close to that because they're afraid they'll be called racist. The fact of the matter is what you just heard in that hearing is that this is a very dangerous man with very dangerous connections that does not care about Michigan. And he's made that clear because he is obsessed with the Middle East. That is really what he focuses on, and making sure that Israel is completely wiped out. He is dangerous. The Democrats are too afraid to say it. It falls on the Republicans now. We have got to make sure that Democrats do not come out for this man.
Oh, when these quote, if the media would fairly report his comments and not just stuff that was overheard. I did have that video. Here he is. Here he is no, this is the one where somebody tried to drown somebody. No, I think this is the one where he was saying he hates a certain place in Michigan everybody likes to go to. And hopefully they'll spread around. But what he's talking about with his opponents is downright dangerous talk.
Please watch your step.
I hate Mackinac so much. It's funny because, like, if we win, this is going to be the, like, summer home. I'm just going to be like, every time I've ever come here, I've hated it. Why am I here?
So anyway, well, like I said, most of his support was from dopey college kids. Dopey college kids who've been psychologically captured. And while I was playing that video, that Katie did was loud as could be. There it is, walking on the wall. Yeah, it's Katie did. A big old green Katie did. They bite, you know that? Did y'all know they bite? So anyway, here's the creeps at USA Today. Poor Dr. Fauci. How Fauci went from icon during AIDS crisis to COVID lightning rod. Poor thing. Who sits behind typewriter and puts out all this crap? USA Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who advised 7 presidents and led the government's response to AIDS, has become a political target over his role in the C-19 pandemic. No, his role in developing it, funding the research. See, like Trump said, we'll never have fair elections. We'll never have peace in this country with a dishonest media. Fauci, 85, I don't care if he's 105, faced fierce criticism from Republican lawmakers, accused him of misleading the public, funding, the research, the origins, pandemic restrictions, vaccines, and masking. Where's the funding part? And why don't you check out the patents and how much of his wife's income was from patents and pharmaceutical deals? So anyway, yeah, they're going to keep on. Fauci, what does it say? His defenders say he's being unfairly made a villain and was guided by science, not political or personal gain. Yeah. Here's a meme going around. Where is it? Here's something for you to put on your meta page. Dr. Fauci sworn in at committee hearing. I know nothing. So anyway, his time is coming. So anyway. I'm just looking through the chats real quick. I don't want to be known as Dead Air Mountain Man like some other creators are. Hi, Vicky. Yeah, Mr. Kibler, how you doing? Where's that Katie did? Yeah, right over my left shoulder. On the wall, walking on the wall. She'll eat him. Sadie will eat the Katie did. But anyway, whoa, what's this? What was I hit this by accident. Oh, okay. See what I got there? Trump's phone. 9/11. New pain for some 9/11 families as New York's mayor finds himself in commemoration controversies. No controversy to me. Keep away. 25 years after the mayor of New York City became the champion of America's grief and resilience at the time of 9/11 attacks, families of those killed are split on whether the current mayor should attend the annual remembrance. No, stay away. You're trying to turn it in the city into a communist enclave, a Muslim enclave, prayer speakers blaring morning prayers. So, I got a video from Rudy Giuliani about this subject. Israel rejects Trump's Gaza peace plan, saying no withdrawal until Hamas disarms. Of course. Of course. Why would you let them continue to exist right on your border? Netanyahu, this is from CNN, so you know it's crap. CNN says Israel rejects, Netanyahu says Israel rejects a Trump-backed Gaza peace plan and will not withdraw. Well, and then who else is this? Crux puts this out. Israel prepares for possible unilateral Iran strikes, namely on their own, if the war ends. Channel 13, that's a channel over in Israel. Israel preparing for the possibility of launching unilateral strikes. The Israeli military continued to keep the option of striking Iran without U.S. government involvement on the table, it said. Well, what's Trump said in the past? They'll do what I tell them. So, I don't know. We'll see. Here's what Rudy Giuliani, speaking of a strong mayor during 9/11, here he is. Here's the man himself. Mayor Rudy Giuliani talking about Israel. He's the one that should be there for the commemoration.
Israel is they're going to make every opportunity to destroy Hamas. Why? Because Hamas is dead set on killing them. It's the raison d'etre for their existence. I don't know too many countries where people are born and from a very early age, like the first time they can think or hear that, they're told they should kill Jews and Americans. But that's Hamas, the group that seems to get a great deal of sympathy and support from the Democrat Socialists of America, which gives you an indication that the major distinction now between the two political parties.
Yeah. They're going to do what they got to do. And, you know, optics, however they play it, optics. Whoops. I'll show this in a minute. Since it's on the screen, let me put this up here. This creep here. Trump put up another post of him next to a picture of Alfred E. Newman. Remember Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine? James Talicaro headlined Texas Pride event along with 11-year-old drag queen, Queen Kiki. The LGBTQ festivit that included the absolute cutest and youngest of our drag performers and a 11-year-old drag queen on the stage named Queen Kiki. Can you say arrests? Anyway. Oh yeah, Texans are going to really go for that. But with all these problems we have with votes, I got a video I'm going to play for y'all here in a minute. But this is Ken Paxton's ad about James Talicaro.
1, 2, 3.
She dreams of growing up, falling in love, becoming a mother.
4, 5, 6.
Keep counting.
7.
The trans industry preys on confused children. Irreversible puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, sex change surgeries. This November, stop them before it's too late.
Well, you would think Paxton would be a shoo-in with that kind of an opponent. But these people are insidious, and they have been practicing election engineering, I'll put it that way, for decades. There's videos going around showing them actually getting the ballots, getting stuff out of vehicles, moving in the buildings after the election. Anyway, November 3rd, 2020, the single largest ballot fraud operation in United States history. Georgia, 96,000 mail-in ballots cast, but no record of ever being returned. Pennsylvania, 766,000 mail-in ballots cast, just appeared out of nowhere. Arizona, 733,000, vanished into thin air. It should say unaccounted for. Michigan, 100,000 mail-in ballots. Application falsified at Jocelyn Benson's own election headquarters. Wisconsin, 34,000. You know, stick with me, folks, because I'm going to tell you a little something. Xeroxed by Wisconsin Election Commission executive director in the back conference room. This is election month, November 30th, 2020. 16,000 hours of seditious conspiracy captured on surveillance video. They have video. Detroit, Michigan, Hillman Voting Center. 3 hours and 15 minutes after the polls closed in Michigan, Dana Nessel and Joyce Benson loaded thousands of Bidens into a minivan with Indiana plates, with Governor Gretchen Whitbag driving. What? Total votes in 2020, 155,508,985. Total votes in 2024, 140 million. Where did the 15,202,000 voters go? Passed the Save America Act. The state of Wisconsin, 138,000 dumped at 4:30 a.m. Every last one of them voted for Biden. Not a single Trump vote in there. So this is the stuff that is not being reported by the news, is not being put out by, not being heard by judges or put into court cases. But before I play this video for you all, I want to show you, Trump put up something. Let me see, where is it? Let me see. Let me go through what some stuff Trump put up. Exclusive. Inside Greece's Migrant Control Operation Center. Migrant minister reveals how Trump win sparked worldwide border crackdown. You know, and a lot of you watch 2C TV. And the same day, I believe, or the day before, Trump put that post up. Let me see. Oh, the same day. 2C TV reported Greece closes mosques. Okay. Abdul Sayed, okay. They're throwing him the hell out of the country. But anyway, there was a good video about how they're praising Trump, and it gave them the momentum. They need the political momentum. But I want to find this one about Trump put out about Lisa Murkowski. Let me find it. Let me find it. And he used a specific term for Lisa Murkowski. I have to pull it up. Let me see. I have to go through things one at a time. Very true, President Donald J. Trump. Mike Davis saying Chuck Grassley's behind-the-scene work proved decisive in Todd Blanche's confirmation fight. Remember, we were told to trust Grassley, correct? I mean, gee, for 10 years we've been dealing with this. But anyway, Trump used the T word for Lisa Murkowski. Where is that? And, it's a pretty strong thing for a president to say about a senator. Holy cow. Stick with me, folks. I'll find it. I'll find it. It's, like I say, they put up, Trump and his team put up so much stuff. Hillary Clinton, this is Trump posting this. Hillary Clinton, the world may not like Trump's Gaza plan, but there is no alternative. If even I, an implacable opponent of the president, can accept this as the best option, then surely others can too, ? So, what's Hillary doing backing Trump on any damn thing? If she's even still around. So anyway, Trump, I'll just have to put it up when I find it. Let me see. Here we go. Donald Trump put this up yesterday. Lisa Murkowski will not vote for Todd Blanche after having no problem voting for Merrick Garland, claiming Blanche will weaponize the DOJ and is too political. The same Garland that personally signed off on the raid on President Trump's home. Murkowski is owned. Traitor. That was reposted by Donald J. Trump. And with a video of Merrick Garland. Guess how long this video is? I found it. There's Lisa Murkowski. Guess how long this video is? 17 seconds.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
"17 seconds. She voted for him. And I said I was going to find a picture for you all. And I'll tell you what. There she is. Lisa Murkowski with Dianne Feinstein. And this is from the CUE Post, folks. A picture's worth 1,000 words. See evil in the face of Feinstein. See fear and emotion in the face of Murkowski. A phone was present. You want to have fun? You want to go down memory lane? Just go to the CUE board and type in phone. And hit the search button and read the posts that have the word phone, just phone in them. It's a bunch of different subjects, but you go, aha, I remember that. How many places was a phone present? And if you go through the posts, look, is there evil in Dianne Feinstein's face? Is there fear and emotion in Lisa Murkowski's face? But the CUE posts will remind you that for years, any microphone, mine, yours, that is tied in to the interwebs through Wi-Fi or anything, they can access. You don't even have to cut your phone on. And they can listen through your phone, even though it's cut off. If your television is hooked to Wi-Fi, they can record stuff and you won't even know it. Remember the video from Osama bin Laden when he was talking about how the buildings fell? That's how they got that video. He was sitting in some country, Scratcher Crackistan or wherever he was, sitting in a circle on the dirt like they do. You know, they eat there, they eat on the floor, they sit on the floor, they meet on the floor. He's sitting there saying, I was really surprised when the buildings fell. And how they got it was they just activated someone who was present. They activated their phone and recorded bin Laden. And probably the person who had the phone didn't even know what was happening. They just had their number and knew he was there. So anyway, this is a concept because this was right after Lindsey Graham spoke with Kavanaugh about unlawful combatants and how they can be treated differently under military law than civilian law. So anyway, there's a picture for you all to might want to put on your meta page that I promised you I would go look for. And guess what else I found? Just in. Oh, wasn't really just in. Trump tags CUE Anon accounts calling for voter ID law. July 30th, 2019. There, for your records, your meta page, circle that date in red and post it and just see what people say. Maybe people will start checking out the CUE board themselves and put in a word like phone just for giggles. And they'd be surprised at what they learn. Citizen Free Press posted this quick clip right here.
This president is trying to push this SAVE Act, which basically would require that for people to register to vote, you're going to have proof of who you are.
Yeah, isn't that awful? You got to prove who you are. And who the hell knows what these Democrats fall for? I want to read you this post from Clandestine. But before I do, I want to thank Wayne for going by this evening to buy me a coffee. And I got a boom lined up for Wayne. Boom! Kapow! So we're starting off the week with Wayne going by buy me a coffee, and I do appreciate it. And he also helped out last week. Younger Gang helped close out last week along with Mike and Bev. I do appreciate it. Where's my booms? Here. Boom, boom, boom. So I appreciate you all helping out last week on Buy Me a Coffee. And also I give honorable mentions for Miss Mendersue and Gary Kapow for leaving a Moabs, or sometimes a Moab and a half. So anyway, I got to put a link in the chats. I'll do that right now. At the 114 mark, if nobody knows how to get there, there's a link in the chats. If you want to go by and take a look at Buy Me a Coffee and see what it looks like there, There you go. There's a link in the chats at the 114 mark. So anyway, well, the Senate went on August recess without passing the Save America Act, as expected. Now, any chance to pass the Save America Act would not be until late September, and by then, I'm not even sure if there would be enough time to implement changes by the midterms. Well, now wait a second. What changes? You got to show an ID. Real simple. So, we have two options. POTUS can handle the situation himself and use executive power to secure the election, or he can just sit back and do nothing, while the traitorous Dems conspire with our foreign adversaries and use illegals to steal elections, overthrow our nation from within, and complete their communist takeover. The Senate GOP failed the American people. So now Trump is going to be forced to handle it in a different way. In February, Trump said that there would be voter ID for the midterm elections, whether approved by Congress or not. Well, Congress just missed their last shot to approve voter ID, so I think the window is now open for Trump to use executive power to secure the midterms. How many times have I used the saying, the road to the Insurrection Act? That's what we're on, the road to the Insurrection Act. Trump has 3 months to make something happen. And based on all the messaging we have received over the past year, I think it's safe to say he planned for this. Now, that's why I was saying about Kennedy. Is he playing a role? I don't know what's going to happen, but now we got to get approval from my parliamentarian. He knew daggone good and well the parliamentarian was dirty. But I think Kennedy's playing it cool. He's sly like a fox. But anyway, it's safe to say he planned for this and was counting on the Senate to fail. Trump has a plan to secure the midterms without congressional approval. If the Dems have been terrified of this possibility for months, warning that Trump intends to invoke the Insurrection Act and secure elections with U.S. military/ICE. If POTUS is going to do, quote, the window is now open. Trump posts are from February 2026, and he's referring to these. There will be voter ID for the midterm elections, whether approved by, I've shown these to you before, whether approved by Congress or not. This is an issue that must be fought and must be fought now. If we can't get it through Congress, there are legal reasons why this scam is not permitted. I will be presenting them shortly in the form of an executive order. So he's just like the CUE posts I put up just a minute ago, referring to CUE and voter ID. 7 years ago, he's been laying it out there. And also, with those posts from Trump, Clandestine also reminded us, I played this at the beginning of the video, if you didn't see it.
The first, a scenario in which Trump finds a pretext, invokes the Insurrection Act, and tries to impose martial law. Elections, therefore, could be canceled, or if they happen, he could surround polling places with military and federal law enforcement to intimidate voters. The second option is harder to track, but can still swing an election. Labeling opposition groups, candidates, and elected officials as terrorists or criminals, and going after the infrastructure that allows for competitive elections.
What's her name? I forget, but she's one of the ones who did that video calling for the military to disobey orders. Well, we said disobey illegal orders. Well, according to you, illegals voting is legal, so you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So anyway, keeping that in mind, I have a video that I'll stop here and there talking about voter FRAUD. And, in case I can't really interrupt timely, like I said, my antennas are up because Trump is making references to the CUE board. He called out the elites at Davos in Switzerland and the feds. Okay, the Fed rate, the way we're getting ripped off. Just one country, $39 billion a year, and he can stop it with a stroke of his pen. Now he's saying, if we don't get this voter ID done, he'll do it. Okay? But here's someone talking about what kind of FRAUD has happened in the past. Remember what I just read? On the black screen, the night light screen that showed hundreds of thousands of votes documented with thousands of hours of video on record showing the criminality. She's going to mention Italy, foreign countries. She's going to mention Frankfurt. And I'm saying it now because I might not be able to interrupt the video in time. It's kind of hard to stop a video and then cut my mic on. So, but anyway, remember what Louis Gohmert told us about Frankfurt CIA raid, right? A lot of you might not know about it, but we'll get to it over time. But anyway, here you go. Voter fraud.
We'll go ahead and move on to our presentation from Maria Zack. And this is talking about the elections. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm Maria Zack from Nations in Action, and we are an organization that's devoted to transparent government, transformative politicians, trustworthy parties, and truthful media. The Italian Secret Service actually received information from Arturo's girlfriend, he considers wife because they've been together so long. Her uncle is part of the Italian intelligence services. She said, Uncle, Arturo came home and said he doesn't understand why we're stealing America's election. They immediately go to Leonardo and investigate. Arturo confesses. The Italian intelligence services reach out to us November 18th. They said something happened. We're watching a coup d'etat in the United States of America. They were fearful of meeting with anyone. There were 2 affidavits that were delivered into Congress, and they were delivered from Italian citizens that contacted us. Intelligence agencies had been trying to reach out because their country had already fallen. And that is what is happening around the world. The intelligence agencies are watching corruption and China come in to their countries and buying off politicians and hiding things and using fraud to do amazing efforts to take over and own property and, in some instances, countries. So today I'm going to play for you an audio tape that should shock you all. It'll shock America. This is
if Americans get to hear it, she's going to play a tape that'll shock everyone. But wait a minute. We're talking about the Italian government, okay? Italian intelligence services. Italy is with Trump, okay? That's mentioned a couple of times in the CUE posts. But I'm sure they have a deep state faction in the government, just like we do. And that's what she's discussing here. She's bringing up the Secret Service. And the Secret Service, what else is the Secret Service in charge of besides security for the president? I'll cut to the chase and tell you, rather than have you guess. They're in charge of international money laundering and counterfeiting, among other things. Remember Castle Rock, okay? Just little terms to keep in mind that I'm going to tell you that we're going to be hearing now, I believe, in the future. She mentions Kansas. Now, this I will ask. Does anybody know what Kansas means? But anyway, so it's laid out pretty good. You can stop the video as needed to get screenshots. Like she had a timeline just before this, and now she's going to be presenting affidavits and a telephone call and other proofs.
First place I have chosen to testify in. I could have walked into any state. I know my way around. We've already proven my credentials. I know government affairs. I can walk in, and when I play this for you, and why Kansas? Because Kansas is a pro-Trump victor of electors. But I would argue you don't know. You do not know the real result of your election. You also probably have not been made aware of what was occurring in Italy. Leonardo, the defense contracting firm, had some strange occurrences happening with people coming in and out that the intelligence services witnessed, of people coming from Frankfurt into the Italian U.S. embassy in Rome on Via Veneto. This instance enabled individuals to come forward and supposedly, according to the Italian intelligence services, work with Leonardo to change the results of the United States election. But more frightening is that they claim there were 47 to 52 presidential elections around the world, and they now have telemetry experts, over 200, that speak foreign languages that are all different. So what you are dealing with is a very calculated attempt to take down presidencies and control countries. So this audio that I'm about to play for you is from an individual who was a member of the CIA and the State Department. His name is Larry Johnson. Many of you may not know, but I am the person not only who hand-delivered that letter to Donald Trump on Christmas Eve in 2020, telling him who stole the election, where they stole it, and how they stole it. And my number one goal was to bring back one of the people who was in the satellite center. His name was Arturo Delia. My goal was to rescue him and bring him over to America because he was willing to testify. There were people that would not assist, that I thought would assist, but what was most shocking was this voice recording that I will play now.
There's a big delay while she's starting the recording. I'll just say Kansas. Yes, Miss Minnesota said trust Kansas. What do we think is the code name for Kansas? Who is the code name? He has the code name Kansas. That is Mike Pompeo. I tried to find a picture that was posted in CUE that was rumored to be the American ambassador to Italy, with his hands behind his back as if he were handcuffed, with a very bad look on his face, and who was standing next to him in a jovial mood was Mike Pompeo, who is who we consider to be the code name Kansas. Trust Kansas. So the speculation was that the Italian ambassador had been arrested back in 2020. Okay, and Mike Pompeo was there for it. That's just speculation. But anyway, now she's going to play this audio.
Maria, hi. Larry Johnson. We spoke yesterday. Listen, I needed to see if you would help us get in touch with the lawyer, because after you talked to him yesterday, he went missing. We have people in Italy now and are ready to have the person that's in jail. We've got a national security team that can extradite him and bring him back safely to the United States. So that's already lined up. There's no need for an airplane because the airplane is going to be provided and witness protection provided. If you could call me at your convenience, 301-442-5957.
That's our United States government, supposedly, national security, that are going to go rescue Arturo Delia. Anyone know about that? Probably not. Anyone? Because most Americans had this truth hidden from them, that there was an operation, supposedly, but the number one thing that they were looking for in the beginning of that message was where the lawyers were and the people who did the affidavits who were being hunted to be killed. These are brave people around the world that are trying to tell the truth and having great difficulty with the United States government apparatus. Telling the truth is not easy, and people are risking their lives. So that was the transcript. So you ask, okay, what proof is there? Well, I would definitely consider that, sir, Mr. Chairman and members. That is called proof. That needs an investigation. Where is our law enforcement? It should be at the local, state, and federal levels immediately to investigate Larry Johnson and the activities that he did in the United States during this whole event. You know, everyone says if you see something, say something, right? We're all supposed to see something, say something, and then what happens? You get blasted. We had patterns of illegal activity across the country. We had people not matching signatures on the ballots. We had witnesses galore filling out affidavits. I'm so proud of the team at Nations in Action because they filed many, many, many affidavits. They saw the computers actually online and there are photographs. So if anyone says the machines weren't online, that is false. So these witnesses that have come forward have also identified over 35,000 illegal cross-county voting just in Georgia alone, and that relates to President Trump's talk with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where he was saying, I know that there are votes there that were illegally cast. He was right. He is actually vindicated in the proof today because the cross-reference with the state documents and the U.S. Postal Service feed shows that these people did not live where they actually voted. Those votes should have never been counted. Now we have illegal votes that are cast using fake residences and business addresses, photocopied identical ballots in stacks fed into tabulators, and many fake, unfolded, unmailed absentee ballots. Of the thousands of affidavits just filed in Georgia alone, would you like to know how many arrests were made? Zero. Zero. All those great citizens who we ask to do us a favor and help us do our right to vote, to go and volunteer to work polls, had no assistance at all in having a free and fair election, and they witnessed the failures of America. So now you should be asking me, who are the people in Italy, Maria? Who are they that actually coordinated and conspired? Because this is where we really break things down and show you the proof of what occurred. Stefano Serafini on your left is actually a member of our State Department who retired just days before the election. It is said that he, in an intercept, it was picked up that he was retiring so he wouldn't lose his pension should he be caught.
You know, folks, there's a real good chance that this video won't be up for very long. I'm just saying. So get screenshots. I'm going to try to upload it and forward it to Bumble, okay, just in case. And if I disappear for a week, that's where I'll be. Bumble, right? Mountain Man Speaks, all one word.
He was coordinating with General Claudio Graziano. General Graziano is also at the time was the EU commander. And they were meeting across the street at the St. Regis Hotel. And it was with Ignacio Moncada, who is the CEO of Fatah, which is Fatah SPA, which is a subsidiary of Leonardo, one of the largest defense contract.
You see the names of the countries there. He's the Italian liaison to Qatar, Iran, and China. CHYNA. And then DAR and then PA, right?
Firms in the world. They are the largest in Italy, and they receive numerous United States military and intelligence contracts. That should frighten everybody right now. Now, they were meeting in his hotel, and in March of 2020, they were coordinating this plan. The Italian intelligence services actually provided me with the cell phone number for the go order, and it goes to General Graziano. So then you ask, well, they concoct the plan. They have to go get the IT guys. Who's going to do it? Well, they already had a guy. His name is Charles Robinson. He is a telemetry expert. He came in a week prior to the election of November 2020. He uploaded mil-spec software, and he had traveled from Frankfurt.
The magic word, Frankfurt, Magic City. I had a video taken down years ago that showed the actual firefight reportedly between U.S. forces and CIA operatives. Okay. I won't say her name, but there was somebody else there that was head of the C.I.A. Okay. So anyway, see what comment. Be careful of your comments, please. Hi, Josh. Nice to meet you. Please don't put anything in that is going to who we got causing trouble. Yeah, just be careful what if the words are a little, if you feel like they're a little algorithm problem, you know, just use 0. Oh, my screen froze up on me. Daggone it. There we go. It's got it back going again. Yeah. Okay. You know how it worries me when the screen freezes up. But anyway, here's Stephen Miller. I'll just go to him real quick because the clock is ticking as always. Hey, folks, you think about this video I just played. You think about what Trump was saying about Switzerland, all the little signs that are coming out. But anyway, here's Stephen Miller.
Where do I even begin with this? So let's start here. Nobody has done more to rebuild and save the Republican Party than Donald Trump since Abraham Lincoln himself. President Trump inherited a broken shell, a hollowed out husk of a political party after the Bush years, after the Ryan years, after the sellout years, and he turned it into the working class party, the middle class party. And he took states that had been blue forever. He took the blue wall. He took states like Wisconsin, states like Ohio, states like Pennsylvania. He pulverized that blue wall. How many Senate races have we seen where President Trump won a state by 8 points, 9 points, 10 points, 11 points, and it was just enough to bring along the Republican senator by half a point or a point to build that Senate Republican majority? How many Senate candidates has he dragged along to victory? And how many rhinos has he forced out of the party to elect real working-class populist Republicans, people like, for example, Eric Schmidt, who represent the future of the Republican Party, where it is today? President Trump has raised more money for Republican candidates than any human in history. He has more enthusiasm and support from Republican voters than any candidate in history. I could keep going, Laura. The reality is, as he said, President Trump is dead on right here. What this comes down to is the Trump voter needs to show up in the midterm.
And there you have it, folks. I want to get one of them passports that's got Trump's name on there. We got to finish this. And if we can get enough people to be outraged over their failure to pass something as basic a protection of our liberties, our sacred vote, if we get people outraged enough that this system has been corrupted to the point where we need a hero. Remember when Trump used to put that up? America needs a hero. And yeah, Congress dropped the ball. Trump is standing alone. And how many times has he put up? Only Trump. Only Trump. He's going to be the one to step in. He's going to have to step in. He would be derelict in his duty not to step in. So, got plenty of stuff on Iran and Ukraine. Iran, of course, they tried this business of getting nation. This was a day before Saudi Arabia announced their summit, where they had the trilateral agreement to defend each other. Iran was coming out with, well, Muslims got to stand together. They wanted everybody to sign agreements with them of mutual assistance in the case of attack. Iran Foreign Minister Araghchi, he's the one that was told to watch his mouth, especially being on U.S. soil. Just a reminder. Urges Muslims to stand together against outsiders. Well, the next day, that summit was announced, and there was a agreement of mutual assistance, but they were notably left out. They're not invited. So if they attack those countries, they'll get them. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. Was it Pakistan? Yeah, I believe it was. So anyway. That's right, Frank. Yeah. They all bowed to him. They all bowed to Trump. They're all on board, and the only piece of the puzzle in the end is for the American people to wake the heck up. If Christians don't get involved in politics will erase their right to be Christians. How many times have you all heard me say in my early broadcasts, I'll say the quote, if you don't get into politics, politics is going to get into you. And that was either Aristotle or Plato. I'm not sure which one, but that's like a 3,000-year-old quote, okay? If you don't get into politics, politics is going to get into you. And this is I believe, a 90-10% issue. They say 80-20. Okay, I'll say 85-15. This is something people will get behind Trump in huge numbers across all parties to defend Donald Trump's decision to secure the elections. And there won't be a riper time in history to declare the Insurrection Act or martial law for purposes of national security. There won't be a riper time to do it than now. Or the point when people realize they're trying to screw us and we need somebody to step in. It's taken a lot of work, many years to get to this point. So I'm going to play this nice young lady here. Anyway, folks, and OAN, they do good work, but they don't get any views. You guys got to subscribe to stuff like this. But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I want to thank everybody who went by buy me a coffee. Wayne started out this week, and I do appreciate it, Wayne, very much. And the thumbs ups, if you all think about it, please give the video a thumbs up. And I put a link to buy me a coffee in the chats if you all wish to check it out. And let's see, I'll put that postage stamp up there if I can find it. There we go. There we go. So anyway, folks, for those watching on television at home, there you have it. I think it's like 60% of the people watching my broadcast at home. I know Mike and Bev do. So anyway, and new people that come in, I appreciate you being here. I should go live tomorrow night, but if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Anyway, folks, enjoy this little clip. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Election systems across the U.S. are found to have deleted millions of votes cast for President Trump. According to an unaudited analysis of data obtained from Edison Research, states using Dominion voting systems may have switched as many as 435,000 votes from President Trump to Joe Biden. Now, the author also finds another 2.7 million Trump votes appear to have been deleted by Dominion, including almost 1 million votes in Pennsylvania